Hi, welcome back to the OptiURX 30 Days to Maximum Fat Loss Plan. I am so excited and so proud of how well so many of you are doing. I'm hearing really good things about clothes fitting better, scales looking better, different things for different people. Energy being better is a big one. But there's something that's really important that we should point out now that we're getting into the program for a few days. And that is that as your body starts to make less and less insulin, and it will if you follow the plan, your body will work the way that it's supposed to, in the fact that your urine will spit out more sodium. And when we spit out more sodium in the urine, that is a normal, natural thing. So we need to make sure that as you go through this plan, that you're replacing your sodium. Now, the best way, I believe, well, there's two ways that are optimal ways to replace your sodium. Number one is to use Redmond's Real Salt. That's the salt that we recommend. Redmond's Real Salt on your food. It tastes great and it's good for you. It has over 83 trace minerals in the salt, and I like Redmond's brand because it's guaranteed to be plastic free. A lot of these salts, even what we would consider good salts, pink salts, Celtic sea salt, can contain plastics, and some of these plastics are what are called forever compounds, which means we can never get them out of the body. So we use at our house Redmond's Real Salt. The other really good way to get in more sodium is to use a product that we have at the pharmacy that Beth and I use every day, especially in the summer, definitely every day, sometimes multiple times a day in the summer. That is called UCAN, U-C-A-N Hydrate. It's an electrolyte powder that doesn't have any sugar or artificial sweeteners in it, very clean, no bad ingredients. A lot of these flavorings like this for water contain a lot of toxic ingredients. UCAN Hydrate is really clean. Watermelon is our favorite. There's a lemon lime that a lot of people like. One of my kids' favorite is berry. Another one is the lemon lime. So it just depends on your personal taste. But the UCAN Hydrate is also a great way to flavor a liter or two of your water a day if you prefer. Some people, keep telling me over all these years of doing this, over 30 years of doing this, that, hey, I just get tired of just drinking Kangen water. The UCAN Hydrate is a great way to add back the minerals that our body loses when we sweat. And if we're working out in this heat that we've had here in the summer, we're definitely going to be sweating, right? And even if we're working out in the winter, when you heat the body up, you're going to sweat. So always replacing your electrolytes is important. And also, when we lower our insulin levels, our body will naturally work the way it's supposed to and spit more sodium out in the urine. So we need to make sure we replace that. Sodium is very important. The idea that salt is bad for us is number one, we're using the wrong salt if we're using white salts. They have been bleached with a chemical called alloxan, which the drug companies use alloxan to cause diabetes in the animals, and then they test these drugs and say that we need them. So let's avoid that. Let's use the Redmond's Real Salt with the 83 trace minerals still in it, with no plastics there. Let's use the UCAN Hydrate to put back all the electrolytes if we need. Let's make sure we're using the OptiU multivitamin, the OptiU magnesium. We're going to make sure we put our electrolytes back that way also. Now, I want to clear up real quick because I'm telling you that salt is not bad for you, especially not the real salt. And the reason that salt has gotten a bad rap, and people will say, well, salt causes high blood pressure, salt causes swelling in the legs, right? It's actually not the salt. It's actually the high insulin, which nobody in the medical field is checking outside of the OptiU program. And of course, Kim, the nurse practitioner, who has got her practice in Prescriptions Plus in Gastonia, which again we are super excited about. And I know those of you who have already had your appointments, and that's all of you if you're in this program, have been very complimentary. You've told me how much you liked her, how much time she spent with you, how awesome she was, which I was already convinced of, which is why I was trying my best to get her to open her practice, in our building. And so we're just thankful that all that worked out. And so just know the insulin is one of the key numbers on your blood panel. And as we get your insulin resistance under control, assuming you have it, and most people in this program would have it, which is one of the reasons they're going through this program, you're gonna need to add some salt back to your diet. If you haven't been adding salt, or been told that salt's bad for you, or been told that salt causes high blood pressure or swelling, it's really just not true. They're just not measuring the right numbers. So hopefully this was helpful. Now I should point out before I finish that sodium is a very, very critical thing for our bodies to function properly. So don't take this lightly. If you're feeling tired, fatigued, dizzy in any way as you're going through these changes of these healthy lifestyle things, make sure that you add some salt to some Kangen water, some UCAN to some Kangen water, both to some Kangen water. What I did on a day like today, we went out and hiked to the top of Crowder's Mountain 3 times today, in one swift move this morning. We didn't go 3 different times. We went there one time and we hiked up the stairs, down the, what I'll call the long side, the road, hiked up the road, down the stairs, and then hiked back up the stairs and down the road. So it was very humid this morning. It wasn't so hot, it was just really humid. It's a little cloudy today, as you can see right now, I'm sure, while I'm doing this video. And so we sweat quite a bit. Then we came back and lifted weights. After that, we did our resistance training. So we actually used 2 doses of 2 different liters of UCAN, in 2 different liters of Kangen water. And we actually then add some Redmond salt to that. And if you don't add much of the Redmond salt to that, you won't even know it's there, because the UCAN tastes so good that you won't even realize that you've added the additional salt. So a great way to keep our minerals up, a great way to make sure that we get our sodium in. And remember, as you lower your insulin, you're going to increase your need for sodium. So I certainly hope this was helpful. Thanks again for all the great questions. Keep them coming and stay on the plan.